So in this video, we are going to talk about introduction to data analysis. Introduction to data analysis. We are going to look at the concepts of data and data analysis, the types of data, the concept of data collection, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at the concept of data and data analysis. Here we said data is a collection of information gathered through observations, measurement, questionnaire, and any other form of collection. It is an information collected for the purpose of arriving conclusion and for effective decision making. Here we say data is a collection of information by which we collect either through questionnaire, either through observation, or either through measurement. So any information you collect through observation, measurement, or questionnaire, we call them data. And it is not only limited to observation, measurement, and questionnaire alone. You can either collect it through interview, open-ended and close-ended interview. You can either collect it through survey. So those ways by which we collect information is also called the data collection, and this is a way by which we collect data. And the second sentence made us to understand that the purpose for collecting data is for what? Arriving conclusion and for effective decision making. Yes, that is the reason why you collect data. It's because you want to arrive at a conclusion, or maybe you want to test an hypothesis or assumption, or for effective decision making. And here they said data is organized in the form of graphs, charts, or tables. In other words, data could be said to be set of variables that is either quantitative or qualitative in nature. Yes, data can either be quantitative or qualitative in nature, and is also called the types of data. So let's look into the types of data. The qualitative or categorical data. Qualitative data, also known as categorical data, describe data that fits into categories. Describe data that fits into categories. Qualitative data are not numerical. Yes, the categorical information involves categorical variables that describe the features such as a person's gender, educational qualification, work position, marital status, etc. That is why we call them categorical data and not numerical data, because they are not measured, they are not numerical, and they are categorized. For example, we have gender. Yes, gender is a form of categorical data because it can either be categorized into male, female, bisexual, and so on and so forth. Educational qualification is also a categorical data because it can either be categorized into educational qualification, MED, BSc, MED, PhD, BEd, and so on and so forth. And also work position and marital status and so on and so forth. So those are the categorical data. We have so many categorical data, but these are the few we can mention in this lecture. And here we said categorical measures are defined in terms of natural language specification, but not in terms of number. And we have the subcategories of categorical data. So let's take a look at them. We have the nominal data. Nominal data is one of the types of qualitative information which helps to label variables without ranking. Yes, nominal data is also called the nominal scale. It cannot be ordered and measured. Sometimes the data can be qualitative and quantitative. Examples of nominal data are letters, symbol, words, gender. Yes, nominal data falls under categorical data. And why does it fall under categorical data? It is because there is nothing like ranking. There is nothing like maybe first, second, third. There is nothing like ranking. It is just categorized. So that is what nominal data is. And we made mention of an example here, gender. Even educational qualification is a categorical data. Categorizing students into A, B, C is a categorical data. Categorizing students into 1, 2, 3, maybe for group work discussion is also a categorical data because the 1, 2, 3 is not meant for ranking at that particular time, but to categorize them and then give And so we have ordinal data, which is also under qualitative or categorical data. Ordinal data or variable is a type of data that follows a natural order. The significant feature of the nominal data is that the difference between the data value is not determined. This variable is mostly found in survey, finance, economics, questionnaire, and so on. The ordinal data is commonly represented using a bar chart. Examples of this data include educational qualification, school grade, work position. So this also falls under categorical data because the data has a natural order itself. And the example here we have the school grade. Yes, it follows a natural order. We have educational level or qualification and even seniority level at work because it follows a natural order. So these two falls under qualitative or categorical data. So let's take a look at quantitative data or numeric data. You can either call it quantitative or numeric. Quantitative data, also known as numeric data, represents numeric value. That is, how much, how often, how many. Numerical data gives information about the quantities. Look at it too. It gives information about the quantities of a specific thing, but in qualitative, it only categorizes, but it does not give the quantities of a specific thing. We can only know the categories. That's okay. This person has a BED and his educational qualification is BED, but although it is categorized, but we cannot give a number to it because we don't know what his or her CGPA is. So that is why it is called a categorical data. But quantitative data gives information about the quantities of a specific thing. Some example of numeric data are height, length, size, weight, and so on. The quantitative data can be classified into two different types based on the data set. The two different classifications of numerical data are discrete data and continuous data. So let's take a look at what discrete data is. Discrete data can take only discrete values. Discrete information contains only a finite number of possible values. Only a finite number of possible values. Those values cannot be subdivided meaningfully. Here, things can be counted in whole numbers. Examples include number of students in the class, number of children in the family, number of cars in the parking lot, number of books in the library, number of customers complaints. So this contains finite number of possible values. That is why we call them discrete. It contains finite number of possible values. But continuous data is a data that can be calculated. It has an infinite number of possible values. That is why we call it continuous, because it has an infinite number of possible values that can be selected within a specific range. Example is include temperature range, distance, weight, etc. So all these falls under quantitative or numeric data, both discrete and continuous data. While in qualitative or categorical data, we have what we call ordinal, which there is no ranking there, and we have nominal rather, which there is nothing like ranking there, and we have ordinal, which has a natural order. So those ones falls under qualitative or categorical data, while quantitative or numeric data, it explains how much, how often, how many, which categorical data do only categorize. And quantitative data or numeric data has two types, which are discrete, which contains finite number of possible values like number of books, number of biro available, number of students in the class, and continuous data, which contains temperature range, distance, weight, etc., and so on and so forth.